Honorable Speaker, one of the basic lessons in accounting would be a balance sheet or an income statement, that for you to expand, you must raise money, you must raise revenue. And government has only two ways of raising that revenue. It is either, three ways, either through taxation, through appropriations in aid. Appropriations in aid are the charges that the government charges for services it offers to its citizens, or through borrowing. Now, there has been tremendous improvement on our A&A. For the last 2 financial years, you've seen almost 200% increase in appropriations in aid across government ministries. And of course, the implementation of a single treasury account, which means that all revenues are, if you go to a park, then you're paying on an e-citizen platform. It has actually reduced a lot of privileges that were happening in the payment and performance of these appropriations in aid. When it comes to borrowing, Honorable Speaker, if you remember, this Honorable House did pass a law that changed borrowing from our ceiling for borrowing from absolute figures to a percentage of GDP in present value terms. And as we speak, if you were really do a proper audit of our loans and include pending bills, because these pending bills actually also amount to a loan to government, then we actually stand the risk of exceeding that rate as a percentage of GDP as passed by this Honorable House. And therefore, it would be as clear can get that if you have a revenue shortfall, then there must be an adjustment to the budget. And that is why this bill was reducing the proposed allocation from 400 billion shillings to 380 billion shillings. Honorable Speaker, it is very important to remind the senators and the governors that this is, even with the proposed reduction of this allocation of equitable share to counties, it is still 24.2% of the last audited and approved estimates of this government for financial year 2021. And therefore, this is way above the constitutional threshold of 15% as contained in Article 203(2) of our Constitution. And therefore, with this reality on the ground, what should we do? Then the expectations to the counties would be that even though they might have prepared their budget for 24-25 based on the previously approved equitable share of 400 billion shillings, then they should go ahead and prepare a supplementary budget to cut on their expenditures, just like the national government did by passing supplementary budget 1 in this House, Honorable Speaker. But in addition to doing that, Honorable Speaker, I would encourage, I think it's a Commission of Revenue Allocation, when they're coming up with a new formula for sharing of resources, then let some points be given, let some weighted points be given for raising own source revenue. Because we have counties that have the ability to really improve on their own source revenue, Honorable Speaker, but they don't do it. We have a lot of privileges in terms of when people go to pay for charges, say in a hospital, then they are paid in some different people's accounts. If you go to the parking fees that, for example, charged by counties, there is so much money that is lost here. So my urging to the county government is do another supplementary calendar budget, and this is a consequence of a shortfall in revenue. Where there is no revenue, when you can't borrow more, you have to cut on expenditures. And as relatively said, we must live within our means, make sure we prevent privilege of these resources, and counties must find out ways of raising their own revenues to support the counties. And I think there was a study that was done a few months ago that showed counties that did very well, including the great county of Homa Bay, led by my predecessor, the Honorable Gladys Wanga. So that is the way to go. Counties must find a way of raising their own revenues, not to rely only on those that are raised by national government, so that the 48 governments, the 47 county and national government can work harmoniously. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Waluke.